Hey everyone, Ben Strumpf here from Prodport. In this video, we're going to analyze the product page from the brand SKIMS. We'll take a look at three things: what they're doing well, the tech stack to get them there, and what they could do better, all with an emphasis on e-commerce conversion rate optimization. Before we jump in, let me give a quick background on SKIMS. They're an American shapewear and clothing brand founded by Kim Kardashian, Emma Grady, and Jens Grady. They focus on body positivity and inclusivity, and they're one of the largest direct-to-consumer brands on Shopify, valued at over $4 billion in July 2023. Let's go ahead and jump right in. What we're going to do first is go over what is SKIMS doing well on their product page from an e-commerce conversion rate optimization perspective. We'll start above the fold in the buy box and go all the way below the fold to the very bottom of the page. Starting above the fold in the buy box, what's most important? Your product assets. And what I want to compliment SKIMS on here is the asset they're using in the last slot. Yes, it's a close-up of the material of the shirt, but what's really nice is I can get this great detail about the material by clicking on about this fabric. And in absence of shopping in person and being able to touch and feel the product, I'm really understanding the softness, the breathability, the weight, so on and so on. Moving on to other areas of the buy box, they're doing a great job leveraging a best practice in that having the product name not use an internal nomenclature, but be helpful in terms of describing the product. They're also doing a great job getting over objections in terms of what's the return policy. And then I really love their merchandising. So as you can see here, I have the color gray selected, and everything is specific to the color gray. When I change to a different product color, it's changing the logo color, it's changing different visual aspects of the product page, but it's technically loading another product, and therefore all of the relationships and everything about the product is in relation to this color. So really awesome job from a merchandising perspective. Size guide is super important to have. Love that they have inches and centimeters, and the placement is perfect right by the size guide. The other thing I love here is they're getting over another objection as well in terms of, will this fit me? And they're putting additional information about the fit right above the call to action button, the add to cart button on the product page. They're doing a great job including the right type of product relationship above the fold, which is looking at cross-sells in terms of we don't want to give them substitutions, we want to give them complementary products to increase average order value. And SKIMS is doing a great job in doing this and making it easy to add to cart without leaving this product page that I'm on. The last thing I want to point out above the fold in the buy box is they're doing a great job using accordions to organize the product information. I have a to-the-point product description, but then I can get a lot of rich information about the product in terms of fit and fabric, shipping and returns, but it's not in my face. It's in an expand collapse accordion. I can choose to look at it or not. Going below the fold, they're doing a fantastic job at product relationships. So here is where it makes sense to give some product substitutions, emphasize more that's in this color. Hey, maybe you don't like this product, but you like the color. Let's leverage that intent. What else you can wear it with, which is very similar to the cross-sell above, and then personalized recommendations based on what I've been doing on their site and what they know about me. Lastly, on the product page, they have a lot of social proof. They're pulling content from their Instagram and their social media channels. They're highlighting user-generated content in the reviews. Social proof is king, and you can't have enough of it on your product page and anywhere on your e-commerce site. So really awesome job top to bottom on their product page. The last thing I want to point out is how are they getting people to the product page? So what SKIMS is doing, which is great, is they're either sending traffic directly to the collection page or the product page. So you can see I clicked on that. I went to a collection page. This ad has taken me directly to a product page. Why is that important? You're reducing friction in the customer journey. Every page has a bounce rate, and it's usually pretty high, 50% or higher. So the more pages you have, the more people you're going to lose. And you want to get people to the product page because that's where you go to add a product to cart. So really awesome customer experience there, getting people to the very optimized product page that SKIMS has. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what is the tech stack enabling this very nice experience. And this is by no means an exhaustive list of everything powering their e-commerce site. I'm just highlighting some of the key components that's driving their product page specifically. So yes, they're on Shopify, but they have Hydrogen, so they have a headless site, making it a lot easier to do what they're doing when we mentioned in terms of calling different product pages when you choose a different color. Klaviyo for a CDP and email marketing, Attentive for SMS marketing. But then I really want to focus on this column as it's heavily geared towards conversion rate optimization. So dynamic yields and enterprise grade testing and personalization engine. SKIMS is a featured customer on their site. Talks a lot about how they're segmenting and personalizing the experience. Findify for personalized search and recommendations. And Criteo is used for behavioral targeting and personalized ads. So they're really focusing on a personalized experience and testing and making data-driven decisions. And they're well equipped from an analytics perspective. They don't just rely on Google Analytics. They have Elevar for conversion tracking to see how their paid media, how their campaigns are performing. And then Quantum Metric is an enterprise-grade analytics solution that's great for session replays, heat maps, understanding what people are doing on your site. So really nice tech stack enabling a really awesome product experience. Having said that, no product page is perfect, and there's always areas that you can improve upon. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the color variant we've been looking at, and we'll start above the fold, and we'll focus now on what could SKIMS do better to increase their already awesome product page. So let's go back to assets. I love their asset that's in the last slot, but the most important asset is slot 1, and I'd love to see them at a minimum test. But generally, you want an asset in slot 1 that's using as much real estate as possible and has as little white space as possible. So would love to see a model image, a lifestyle image, so on and so on. And I would really optimize the assets that they have. They could use some video, but they need to bring this product to life a bit more. Social proof, user-generated content, influencers, reviews. You can highlight reviews, PR. You could also put a featured review under the product name. Boom or above it. Boom is a great example, run by Ezra Firestone, who's one of the top D2C operators in the space. You could see here, they have a very bold and prominent review call out, which gives a good indication of the importance of that. But I would definitely focus on these assets, and I would diversify them a bit and really try and get more into personalization in terms of based on the size you're selecting on the product page, on a collection page, so on and so on, showing different model sizes. Good American does a great job at this. When you go to a product page, you can view models in different sizes, and it remembers this throughout the experience. So above the fold, I'd really focus on improving the product assets. Below the fold, like I mentioned, SKIMS is killing it with the product relationships. I'd put a bit more content here, especially from a brand perspective. Below the fold is a great opportunity to talk about your brand because people don't just buy because of the product details. They want to buy from a brand that they support. SKIMS has an awesome brand, great mission, great purpose. I'd talk a little bit more about the brand below the fold on every single product page. The last thing I'd focus on is really bridging the gap, the marketing to product gap. So what do I mean by that? If you look at how SKIMS, they go, and we know this from their tech stack, right? In terms of how they're doing personalized advertising. One way they're doing this is influencer marketing. So you've presented this influencer, this person influences me. I'm telling you that because I'm clicking on it. But then I go to the product page and everything I do thereafter, I don't see this influencer. So this is a great opportunity. You don't have to make the influencer in slot 1 on every page or even visible to every person, but adapt your product page based on this UTM parameter that they're coming from this influencer ad to show the influencer if you have assets. Give a quote by the influencer or related influencers, so on and so on. So this is a great example by an influencer, Sabrina Carpenter. There's another one here for Alex Cooper, but again, I'm giving you this intent that I'm interested in this person, but then it's not that influencer isn't being leveraged further down the funnel in terms of on the product page, the collection page, so on and so on. The last thing I'd love to see SKIMS is super important in fashion, but adapting to seasonality. And they're doing a good job in that in marketing and their product merchandising. And that you could see here, it's talking about spring, right? And I come here and I'm seeing all these different colors, bright colors for spring. But me, I'm in Florida. It's spring. It's very hot right now. So I'd love to see the product page adapt based on my location and time of year to maybe not recommend hoodies, but recommend the t-shirt, or substitute out the shorts as opposed to the pants because I'm in Florida. So again, just really bridging this product to marketing gap, adapting the product page by just really focusing on a personalized customer experience that's speaking to the individual needs of that customer. But nonetheless, awesome product page from Skims. I hope you got a lot of value out of this and you took some inspiration for things that you can apply to your brand. And thanks very much for joining us. Take care.